Watch the Adure Morning live show every Tuesday and Friday by 9 a.m. on YouTube and Facebook at Adure Media.
Countries that you listed, I think it's due to the fact that we don't have systems in place to help the government work.
Systems?
Yes, systems.
Unfortunately, systems are not created by themselves. Systems are created by individuals who are sincere, who are determined about creating those systems. We have had dealers at best who say to us that they are leaders, so they are never interested in creating system. You would recall that once upon a time there was a NAFDAC that was deteriorating. It was heavily in jeopardy, but an individual was invited in the person of late Professor Dora Akoyinde. She came in and she began consciously, deliberately and intentionally building systems. Those systems worked, and NAFDAC came out from the woods. NAFDAC became hope for a lot of Nigerians again. The question is, who is willing to create the systems that would make Nigerians survive again? Who is willing to take Nigeria out of the wood, out of the dojo?
Are you saying these institutions exist already? It is the people handling them.
Yes, absolutely. It's the people. We are not lacking in laws. We are not lacking in protocols, in processes. We are not. But we are lacking in people who have the ability, the agility, the compassion, the love for state to work those protocols, to work those processes and those policies. If you found an individual who had enthusiasm for nation building, take up some of those functions, you would see that those institutions will start to work. I recall very vividly when I was in Lagos, the Buba Marwa, the guy who is currently with NDLEA, was made the Milad of Lagos State, and in less than 6 months he had, using the street word, he had shown workings, in that unit, and he had worked it very well. There were other people who were Milads across the state who were not doing well. See what has happened. They brought him recently.
He was Milad for
a period in Lagos State for close to 4 years in Lagos State before he was taken out. The military administrator in Lagos State. And if you find out,
he showed workings.
Yes, he showed workings.
I knew that for a setting. I know he constructed Dolphin Estate.
Yes.
And some other.
As a matter of fact, other than Jakonde in Lagos, you would, until Bola Tinubu and his boys came.
Ask you, where do you place Bola?
No, until Bola Tinubu is not one who, anyway, we are not talking him. He's not one who, out of ingenuity, created the Lagos we are seeing today. The ingenuity that Bola Tinubu was able to achieve, or that we saw with him, was from how he was able to select those who have got capacity to deliver. So that's the ingenuity that we can, we can get those who have got capacity to deliver. So going back to what I've said, if you found individuals who have got love for country, who have got capacity, they have built themselves. Someone said to me that if you stepped on a roach, a cockroach, you will not find anything other than what's in the content, what the content of the cockroach. When you stepped on it, is the content that comes out. In times of pressure, the people who man the different, platforms that we have, those who are in charge of, monetary policies, those who are in charge of fiscal policy, in terms of trouble, economic trouble, what you see them display is the content, what is on the inside of them. So we need to find individuals, we need to find square pegs and begin to put them in square holes. See what has happened recently with the cabinet reshuffling. They took a lawyer, made him Minister of Health. It's not. Yes, I'm not saying I made him a minister. So what is he going to be saying there? I understand that at certain levels, you would just be wielding executive power and all that. But if you did not know about it, how can you influence it? How can you change it? if you do not talk medicine, if you do not talk pharmacy, if you do not talk physiotherapy, if you do not talk the basics of what you find in that ministry, how can you then?
If you put it like this, then I would have to say that we are what we call in a state of quandary.
Yes.
Because I've actually seen architects work as bankers, medical doctors working.
Yes.
Zenith Bank.
Yes. No, it's all right to do that. You can work as a banker if you
without prior
knowledge. if you have got the what it takes to what it takes to learn. For instance, I worked in the bank. I worked in the bank for 4 years, internal control unit, 37 of Bakran Avenue in Ikeja. You know, and we just needed to have the basics so that if you understood it, you can be taught. But professionally, you know, medicine is not like banking, and this is without dissing the bankers and all that. Medicine is not like banking. If you didn't know it, let me use my governor's word. If you didn't day, it didn't day. If you did not know it, trust me, you would not be able to wield any influence around
Mr.
that.
Andy, let's quickly move over to the next headline. It's on 2023 and it's still on Rivers State. It says Fubara will beat opponents with gap slide. With a wide gap rather, LG Boss predicts. Says Wike's achievements, recipe for election victories for PDP. Now you were just talking about when you match a cockroach, its content will come out.
Yes.
In River State, do you feel this statement is a correct one? Wike's achievements is good enough recipe for them to win the next.
So it depends on who is talking about achievement, for instance.
The chairman of Okobom.
Yes. The point I'm making is depend on who is talking about achievement, for instance. If you looked at the elephant from the tail, you are going to describe the elephant differently from someone who is touching the tusk of the elephant. That person is going to define the elephant differently from someone who has a panoramic view of the elephant. The point is, depending on your political inclination in Rivers State, your decision as to whether Wike had done a lot of things is colored by your political affiliation. So if you're of the PDP,
I get where you're coming from.
Yes.
Let's take it like this. I'm a resident of Rivers State.
Yes.
I believe,
and I am also.
We've seen
bridges
built. Let's not laugh. But we've seen bridges built.
Yes.
And construction of these bridges generated traffic jams, go slow, etc.
Yes.
In every economy, there are places you call black spots for crime, traffic. If they were to ask you, Andy, I'm going to Iliuzu around 5 p.m. in the evening, you would probably advise me not to.
Okay.
Because we know every child and adult knows that axis at a particular time is usually jammed by traffic. So you advise me, okay, maybe go
take another route. Yes.
Whatever. But now we've seen these bridges. I'll give you a good example. Waterlines Bridge is now motorable just from the top. That's if you're going towards Garrison town, the shopping complex, all GRA axis. You cannot navigate
to Olobasanjo
just yet, but you could still enter at what's the next bus stop? It's a popular name. Let's leave that out. But we have seen significantly traffic reducing inside GRA axis. I can tell you points. Ever Road Junction, traffic has been decongested. The Genesis Market Square Junction, traffic has been decongested. Now the question is, based on this recent structural development, we have seen.
Is that the most recent? Because I'm thinking the most recent is the law school at Adure.
Yes. We're talking about all encompassing.
Yes.
All encompassing.
Yes.
Now,
would you not say Wike has? Yes. Would you not say Wike has fared well?
Not Wike.
Yes.
Let's not personalize.
Yes. The Wike's administration.
The PDP administration in Rivers State presently today.
Yes.
Based on their achievements today, would that be able to give them some kind of significant push come February in the next elections? That's what we're asking.
Okay, so if this place was lacking in water, and someone told you that it could deliver water into your complex for 50 billion, and somebody else would deliver that same water for 1 million. And the water was delivered for 50 billion. Water has been provided in any case, and you can have water to wash, you can drink and do all that. But water was provided for 50 billion. What we say in project is, what is the opportunity cost for the 50 billion that was used to deliver water in this building? What could we have done with 49 billion? What could we have done with 48 billion? How much was used to build these bridges that we are celebrating today?
You're digressing.
Okay.
The headline says 2023, Fubara will beat opponents with wide gap.
Yes.
Local government boss predicts.
Yes.
And she has said this statement is credited to the local government boss,
Yes.
Koro.
Yes.
And we are asking, on paper,
Yes.
white and black,
Yes.
we have seen quantum leap. I can testify because I've been there.
Yes.
The law school here in Rivers State is the best in Nigeria today.
By your judgment.
By my judgment, because if you look at facilities, etc. I've been to the one in Abuja.
Yes.
I've been to the one in Lagos.
Yes.
This is fresh.
Best is relative to a lot of things. We have not had lecturers come there to lecture. We've not seen the quality of the lecturers and the students. We've not seen other things. So best by your judgment, relating to the structure, relating to the infrastructure, yes, we would understand. But we can't start to say it's best. The point I'm making is, he asked that, judging with the government of the achievement of Wike, his administration, that am I not going to say, or what am I going to say regarding the statement that was made?
PDP.
I'm saying that a lot of times Nigerians are carried away by the very benign, the very ordinary achievements that we shouldn't celebrate. I imagine, for instance, people celebrating the Prime Minister of Britain for launching some water borehole, or for building roads, or for building bridges. These individuals did not use their private monies to build this bridge.
Can the Prime Minister of Britain, we just had to resign yesterday.
Yes.
Can he be likened to the office of a governor in a Nigerian state?
So I'm just saying that because the kind of accolade, that we give to governors for building bridges in Nigeria, I sometimes I wonder, and truly it's because of the development of the people, the stage that we are at. People do not understand that these are public servants. They are actually supposed to do these things without necessarily asking us to, to throw encomiums, to celebrate them. They are not using their personal funds to build it. In any case, why are you building these things, the law school? Is it possible for us to have achieved the same building with less of the amount that was there? Why do you have the kinds of traffic that you have in Rivers State or in Port Harcourt? Because there are people coming from Aoda, there are people coming from Degema, there are people coming from Buguma, from the different places or the different local government in Rivers State that want to come to the capital city. We have made the capital of Rivers State, Port Harcourt, so you're so attractive. The question is, are you truly going to be fighting the congestion issue if you were building bridges as against giving resources to those different localities such that they can begin to thrive on their own and own their people, and have people remain in those localities as against coming to Port Harcourt? The question should have been that a government that understands about project management should look at projects from a bird's eye view all the time. How can I get people to remain at Buguma without coming to Port Harcourt?
Okay, apparently you are more for external development.
Yes!
In fact, our governor had come out to say then that where do businesses lie in the state? Where do you have a concentration of businesses in the state? Exactly
my point. Why would you not have a concentration of businesses in Port Harcourt when the policy of the government is targeted ab initio at ensuring that you had concentration of industries in Port Harcourt? Let me tell you something. If you took the money that was used to construct the Mommy Bridge or the bridge around that GRA down there, if you took that money and you invested it with the local government chairman, and you said to them that I want you to take just one thing in the agric sector, cassava in your region in Ogoni. I'm going to throw X amount of money from this money into it, so that you are going to integrate all of the industries that can grow the cassava, process the cassava, market the cassava, sell the cassava. You are going to build it together in that place. You find more people going to Ogoni to do that.
Sorry, Mr. Andy, I'll have to cut you guys off. Real quick, we'll be back very soon and we'll continue on this train of thought. We're going on a break. We're talking about 2023 with Fubara Beats openers, and we're asking a question, a pertinent question, based on the achievement of PDP.
Yes.
Will that be possible? And apparently, you seem not to toe that line.
No,
Kuje attack, symptom of security failure, insider conspiracy, Senate false lack of CCTV at correctional centers. We also have Ikweremadu's case, Ubo 21, not 15. Prosecution tells court again. Accused remanded till August 4th. When we're back, we'll take a look at these stories as the program continues. No, you don't like weekend.
No, but it's not about weekend for me. It's not about weekend for me or be about Buhari.
No,
it's about
I want to ask you
right.
before when we come back, I will ask
the
you.
money spent on the flyovers are too much.
Too much.
The suffering was
Go
crazy.
and check.
The suffering was
Go and
out
check
of this
how
world.
much was.
Watch the Adure Morning live show every Tuesday and Friday by 9 a.m. on YouTube and Facebook at Adure Media.
Randy,
Mr.
yes,
Randy,
yes,
was that championed
yes,
by the then governor, all the local government bosses? My question is, we have Shell, we have NLNG,
yes,
we have the liquefied natural gas at Upobo.
yes.
Was that situation brokered by the then governor?
Absolutely, by both the national and the states.
And the state.
The LNG that
you know, they have communities, they have host communities.
yes,
there.
yes.
If they didn't make the environment conducive enough, we don't have the liquefied natural gas there. We don't have. Shell recently moved their head of operations to Lagos. Why? We're talking about insecurities.
Yes.
So how does that fall? Why does the bulk fall to the governor's table? As opposed
The governor is the
this
chief.
cultism, people that are fighting cultist wars, etc. in the state. Why doesn't the bulk of the blame goes to the local government chairman that have not been able to create a conducive area of business?
There is the amount of influence you can wield at different level. For instance, you would have heard that the different state executives have been saying that they are indeed not the chief security officers of their states because the constitution already tied their hands. The president is the commander-in-chief, and all of the chiefs of the security forces report directly to the president and not to the governor. Therefore, if you do not command the respect from the chiefs in the different states, how can you truly ensure that the security in your state? You have heard even the governor of Zamfara state and several other governors say that they are best just chief protocol officers, for security matters, and they are indeed not chief security officers. This is exactly how it affects the local government chairman. The state chief executive, which is the governor, has got the power. Don't forget, the constitution says that the governor is the chief security officer of his state. The constitution also makes us understand in the preambles that the primary responsibility of government shall be security and welfare of the people. Now, if this is what, yes.
So, I wanted to cut off that story. We dwelled a little bit too long on that particular topic, and apparently we have strayed far away from, because the question still remains, given the achievements of our amiable governor under the auspices of the APC,
Yes.
in this present dispensation,
Yes.
have they done enough to secure victory for the PDP?
And I answered it already.
One of the reasons why the LG chairman for Pobonkore is saying the PDP can win the next election, he's saying that they have a stronger hold at the grassroots levels of Rivers State. Do you agree, sir?
Of course. What's happening right now at Pobonkoro? The APC, the elements in the APC are all moving. They are all moving from APC to the PDP. And you can tell why. And if you permit me to say it here, the leader of the party, for instance, had said that he was going to do certain things for their son. And he wasn't doing it. He's not rewarding them as he should reward them. And the people are already moving in droves. That's why you would hear that the local government chairman of Pobonkoro is saying what he's saying. Because the people who ordinarily should have, staged, quote and unquote, war against the elements of the PDP in Opobonkoro, they are all moving out of APC already, and they are going to. So it's going to be champagne party, for instance, as soon as the elections are conducted.
I think it's time
Let's let that rest. Let's move on with the program. Kuje attack, symptom of security failure, insider conspiracy, according to the Senate.
Yes.
False lack of CCTV at correctional centers. I think that's preposterous, if you ask me. We also have a Queremado's case, Ukpo's 21, not 15. Prosecution tells courts. Again, accused remanded till August 4th. We'll take a look at that too, because I'm thinking the caliber of the person involved. But apparently, maybe there are laws that do not apply when it comes to immunity when these dignitaries travel out. We'll take a look at that too. We also have, this is level 99 news, if you ask me. It says Wadume among escapees after Kuje prison attack. If I'm not mistaken, Wadume is the mastermind of the bomb blast at
This Day newspaper.
And also credited Abacha barracks in Abuja too. He's credited with that. And I'm wondering, first, the Kuje attack. We have hardened criminals there. Is it that these cameras are not working, are not functional, or they do not have? Because it's a different thing if they do have and it's not working. Because it's a maximum security prisons. How do you have that kind of establishment? Okay, let's go back to last year. We had a case of a serial killer going around in River State, killing women in hotel rooms and robbing them of their monies. We saw our governor swing into action and say that all outdoor recreational establishments must have CCTVs in their premises. So you now saw people rushing in their hotels because there was actually a
How effective was the?
It was effective. It was. There was. I actually went to a place and people came there to protest lack of CCTVs. And apparently, there's like a task force that goes around to ensure now that your fire extinguisher,
I have to ask,
CCTV, etc.
The task force you just talked about. Did they go only to private investments, private?
It's a general thing.
Because I mean, there are universities in River State. I have been to universities.
Well,
in River State, and I don't see CCTV cameras anywhere.
We have DPR, Department of Petroleum Resources, and filling station owners still do whatever they want to do. Like he said, there's the institution. Who mans the institution becomes the owner of the problem. What I'm saying is that for something as small as making sure hotels, using River State now as an example, ensuring they have their CCTV cameras working, you cannot tell me that Kuji Correctional Facility in all its glory do not have functional.
But why would it have functional CCTV? Have you not
Are you not supposed to watch?
Have you not heard that it's an inmate that currently subscribes for their paid TV? Wow. An inmate,
Wow.
The person who used to lead the squad of the Inspector General of Police.
Can we
He's the one who. No, I'm saying he's been verified. He's been verified. The point I'm making is, do you know that there are certain things that must condition precedents that must make your CCTV functional?
Yes.
It means that you must have constant electricity. Power supply. Their condition precedent. Go find out how much is given that prison to run. We were told even the inmates how they feed. If you go there to find out how they feed, you would collapse under the weight of misgovernance that you find in this country. To have a functional CCTV is not yam and beans. You would have to have certain things put in place. People must come and maintain. People must come and do some kind of surveillance around it. People must fix certain things. The electricity must be functional. You must have the TV. Somebody who is in the room who is paid to be observing it. Somebody must be extracting those things and breaking them down every day.
Andy, I still stand to be correct.
Yes.
It is Kuji maximum security prison.
Absolutely.
It is expected.
Yes.
It's a holding facility.
Yes.
For hardened criminals.
Not a maximum though, but yes.
It is. You have terrorists. Wadumi is a terrorist.
Yes.
Not proven yet, but he is a terrorist.
Yes.
Because of their findings and his activities.
Yes.
You have major criminals there.
Yes.
You have your ex boss of the SARS there too.
Yes.
The person of Kiari.
Yes.
So what are you talking about? Is it not expected that a facility of that magnitude should have those things in place? It is not putting. I don't think I'm asking too much, if you ask me. It is expected. I should wake up and not even speculate about it.
Is it not expected that a country that has 3 refineries should at least be producing their crude? Is it not expected? Well, is it not expected that a country that has got water, that has got sunlight, that has got everything that is important to fixing electricity should at least be having regular power supply? Is it not expected that a country that has got over 200 million people, with some of our minds doing well in the UK, that they have been on strike? The best minds have been on strike for over how many months now? 5 months. It's not expected they are supposed to still be lecturing students. Is it not expected that Nigeria should by this time because I recall very vividly that Saudi Arabian authorities used to come to Nigeria to do certain surgeries in some of our institutions, our teaching hospitals. Is it not expected that we are not supposed to be running every second to the UK, to China, to recently Dubai to go and have surgeries done, including our executives? Is it not expected that a president of a country ought not to be traveling every second abroad to go and do medical checkup? Is it not expected? We can have a lot of this. Is it not expected?
Mr. Andy, let's take a step further.
Yeah,
give me a second.
So a lot of things are expected,
could
but we don't see them get done.
Attack symptoms of security failure, insider conspiracy, according to the Senate. We now obviously know that we don't have CCTVs in our prison units
but I would want
across
to
Nigeria.
Talk about
let me just quickly do something. Taking a step further, it says Wadume amongst escapees after Kuje prison attack. We've established that he was the mastermind behind the D-Day bombing.
As well as some other bombings.
And I think the American embassy or something funny. What does that mean for the fight against terrorism now in the country?
It means that. So did we even have a fight against terrorism?
What is it? Is that? Come on.
Yes.
We
Did we even have a fight? So
are you saying this based on what
fighters are usually they usually prosecute certain strategies when they get into the boxing ring or the fighting ring. Those who even get into those sensational shows that they give them monies now, I don't want to mention it so that I don't advertise it here. They get into the houses prosecuting certain strategies. There is no fight unless you had a strategy. There's no fight. There's no competition. There's no warfare unless there was strategy. Who in Nigeria understands the strategy against corruption? Who in Nigeria understands the strategy against insecurity? Who in Nigeria understands the strategy? No one understands the strategy. So there's no fight in the first instance.
We will continue.
So what does this mean?
We have the government just shadow boxing, proving to Nigerians that they are everywhere when in truth they are nowhere. If you wanted to fight insecurity, you must be able to first off understudy thoroughly the security architecture of your country. Do not forget that the fight cannot only be prosecuted by those who are in the corridors of, or who are the security operatives. Exactly. This fight can be won only when there's an anastomosis between those who are the security officials and the citizens. The citizens must provide intelligence. For you to get the citizens to provide intelligence, you must incorporate them. You must have their buy-in. You must explain to them what you are doing part time. Do not forget, in Borno State, we were told recently that some of the chiefs in Borno were part of this protocol that you have against the state, because the people have not actually seen the fight. Someone told me a very interesting story recently. He said to me that the mother used to say to the younger sister that every time guys came to your house to look for you, ensure that you did not walk them down the street. Just walk them to the gate and come back. Do not walk them past the street. And the sister was always very agitated every time the mother said that guys were coming, and she would walk them to the mother would shout at her. One day the mother calls her and sits at her and says, you know why I'm saying to you not to walk them down the street? They are guys, potential suitors who want to marry you. As soon as they found you walking down the street with several guys, they are going to tag you. The lady understood better, so that every time a guy comes, she didn't even walk to the gate this time around. She sat, remained on her seat, and said goodbye to the guy, because they had provided some information and clarity for her. How do you prosecute a war when you have not provided clarity for the people who are going to join you in fighting that battle?
We'll go on another quick break, and I think at this point we'll draw the curtains on the tide. When we're back, we'll take a look at the Port City news, try to find out what's really happening in Rivers State. Mr. Andy, we'll be right back.
We will indeed.
One. All right, welcome back, folks. And I am Benga Usula. This is still the Adure Morning Show. We're still taking a look at headlines. We've dissected the tide with the very, very enigmatic. He's a powerhouse when it comes to social commentating, and he has talked a lot about situations happening in the tide. If you'd
My
like
name is
with us.
Ifoma, yes, and our guest is Mr. Andy. This is still the Adure Morning Live. We're on to Port City.
Yeah, we're taking a look at the Port City news now. I'll just go through the breaking stories, yeah? Very interesting stories. And the Port City news is a local daily here in Rivers State. It says 2023, nothing should happen to Tony Cole's running mate, Group 1's political opponents. This is coming on the heels of... gunmen attacking and killing a police aide attached to his deputy. We also have court disqualifies Delta PDP governorship candidates. That's another burning story happening in Delta State. We also have ISWAP claims responsibility for Kuje prison attack. Further down, we have groups use Rivers government orders over continued detention of over 100 prison inmates. And Magnus Abbey's ally dumps APC Golden Chioma. I found that very shocking because about 3 weeks ago, the person of Golden Chioma was all over the place for the APC, talking about they're still going to be on the ballot papers for the upcoming governorship elections. What then happened?
There's a lot of things right now. You are going to hear before the end of today, let it be said on your station, for the first time, that one of Amichi's ally is going to dump the APC today, before the end of today.
So you heard it first here.
You hear it. So you heard it first here. You hear it before the end of today. So you are going to see a lot of this cross-carpeting. Politics essentially is about interest. So if a system was not meeting your interests, you walked away. You moved to a different system that you were sure would meet your interest. Essentially, it's a war. It's a battle of interest. I'm interested in getting this. I'm interested in it. So Golden Chioma, from what he said APC is a political party that has refused to pay back, to give to the people who have labored. And it's been in the APC for that number of years, and it wasn't given anything. He didn't get anything from the system. Therefore, he was moving to a different family where he was sure he was going to get given back. Essentially that's what politics is about. If I was investing, if I was sowing to the ground, if I was sowing and nothing was burdened, nothing was sprouting, nothing was coming up, nothing was no harvest, at some point I'm going to change my strategy and say this soil
we also
look at the INEC case disqualifying the PDP governorship candidates
in Delta State.
Yes. I'm beginning to think the INEC doing this, are they depriving the electorate of
or courts?
Okay, it was
the court. It was
the court.
I'm beginning to think situations like this are depriving the candidates, the electorate, their preferred candidate.
Who even says that the candidate that was put forward is the candidate of the electorate? In the first instance, it was the political party that decided for those candidates, that brought out those candidates.
You would have to be in a party if you are actively involved and you really
the question you should be asking was, did that candidate come out as a result of direct or indirect primaries?
Yes, was it a consensus
candidate,
or it was just because there were certain principalities in the political system who wanted them to emerge?
So you are saying
there were certain principalities. The Okowa factor in PDP was the factor that was responsible for him and James Onanefe was the reason you had a sheriff coming out. The truth of the matter is that a lot of times you will find that the choices that are given us are not truly the choices of the people. They're the choices of certain individuals and principalities. So sometimes you hear this thing about, the party is superior to, in argument to whatever you are thinking, as party faithfuls. The truth is, who is the party? The party is the man who has got the monies. In PDP, for instance, why do you think they are all interested in coming to the Mecca in River State to come and see Wiki? Exactly. Why do you think so?
Because now that you mentioned that,
yes,
we have like 3 or 4 states that can guarantee you the presidential election.
Yes.
And you must agree River State is one of them.
Lagos.
You have Kano.
Yes.
You have Lagos.
Yes.
Presently today, let's just say we don't have Lagos in the scheme of affairs when it comes to 2023. Because we know that it belongs to Tinubu.
We don't know that.
Okay.
We don't know that. Lagos is
let's say it's an assumption.
Yes. Because Lagos never went to Tinubu completely. Not in any time. Not under Goodluck Ebele Jonathan's administration that he sold his candidate. The candidate that was in Nuhu Ribadu. He did that transaction to bring in a Goodluck. Lagos never went completely to Bola Tinubu because there are diverse, quantities in Lagos State that determines how the voting is done. There is the population that belongs to the Igbo sect,
Have you heard of the Alimosho country? That's it. Have you heard of this before? Alimosho country.
No, I've not heard about it.
It's a part in Lagos.
Yes.
They call it the Alimosho country. They claim Tinubu owns that place.
Yeah,
and they claim a lot of the votes.
It's called the Jagaban of.
No. I'm not making light. I'm not making light Tinubu's influence in Lagos State.
Okay.
But I'm just saying to you that from what he said, that Lagos is already taken for Tinubu. Lagos would not, had never been taken for Tinubu.
So what has been happening in previous? The same way.
Previous elections.
The same way you wake up a Rivers kid today and you ask him, Rivers State is what state? And he tells you it's a PDP state.
Yes.
It's the same way you wake up in Lagosian and he automatically tells you it is an APC state.
Okay, so because
Are you telling me that come 2023, people like Atiku, Peter Obi, if they get there, will share votes in Lagos State?
But has PDP not been taking votes in Lagos State?
How many?
Do a quick Google search. Do a quick Google search. You will find that the total number of voters did not all go to APC.
Okay.
It was shared between Jimmy Agbaje and the current governor of Lagos State. Okay, let's in the first instance, between the guy who has cross-carpeted now, who used to be a minister of state, what's that his name? Who has cross-carpeted now to APC, between him and Ambode, the truth of the matter is that we cannot begin to compare the diverse factors you have in Lagos State with that of Rivers State. Rivers State always declared 2-point-something million for PDP.
Okay, let's
from 1999.
Let's move on. The original question was that do we agree that Rivers State is a powerhouse when it comes to
absolutely?
So why would you call it a jamboree surrounding Governor Wike? Given what happened?
I was explaining to you that he that pays the piper dictates the tune.
But that did not happen in Wike's case.
Yeah, no, it happened.
We saw a case. It did not.
Why do you think right now they are still romanticizing?
After I've died of the headache, you're not giving me Panadol.
Because it's a very important thing. If this had happened to somebody from the east, if it had happened to a governor from the east, do you think that the PDP family would have been disinterested in that person? It would have been a foregone case before even we are talking about it. We must understand that Wike paid, and there's no apology for it. Paid for the survivor of PDP.
Yeah, in 2015.
He paid the piper. Therefore, you must come and look for favors with Wike. Wike is a very, very important personality in PDP.
Rivers State.
Wike always went to gun battles with guns. Wike never went to gun battles with penknife. He understands how politics works. And that's why he's always delivering. He's always delivering 2-point-something million.
Sorry, Mr. Andy, we have to move on. We have to move on.
Yes.
And this one cuts across the human angle.
Yes.
Very shocking story. Broke last week. It says UPTH speaks on 14 incubator babies' death. We woke up suddenly, I think on Tuesday morning, and we heard that no surgeries, etc. About 14 babies had died as a result of power failure. CCTV. We have a lot of failures in the country. But subsequently to that, they came back and said the spokesperson, happens to be a lady, I've forgotten the name, it's not coming now, came out to say that did not happen. Is it another case of sweeping the issue under the rug? Because we've seen cases where somebody said, I will not mention names so that I don't sound insightful, that somebody that developed Lagos State is traveling abroad for medical health checks. You have presidents doing the same thing. Our sitting president was out of office for 100 days.
I remember when she came out to
debunk that statement.
Yes, but really, is there any smoke without
that's what we're trying to do.
There can be one that is created by theatrics.
Because it cannot just come out.
You can have no smoke without
fire. This story did not just break.
Lots of cases of
This story did not just break.
Electricity.
Yes, at that particular facility.
Yes.
Don't you think it's high time? Like you said, it's high time we start doing the necessary things to make sure our institutions work. ASU is on strike. NLC is planning a nationwide strike. Is here. Don't join plan nationwide protest by NLC. It's here in the papers. Virtually all sectors in the economy is shutting down. If we were going to ask you to advise, what would be your general take, especially when it comes to ASU? We were talking about why not privatize these universities. You had something to say about that.
Yes, so let me just jump in on it very quickly. Nothing would work unless you have fixed the bare necessities. you will be taught the basic arithmetic, 1 + 1, before you went on to Pythagoras theory. You know, if you did not fix that, you would not be able to use the almighty formula to achieve anything. The point I'm making is we have failed consistently, perennially, to fix the bare necessities. Incubator would require light, electricity. And if you walked to the UPTH right now, I was there yesterday, I was there.
I was going to ask you if you had a personal experience.
Yes, if you walk there, you will find that you did not even have electricity supply in a lot of the offices. And what does it take to fix these things? It is not rocket science knowledge or rocket science principle that it takes to fix these things. These days, you have a lot of solar. You can get solar panels. If you had a thinking leadership put across certain protocols. Nigerians thinks because leaders don't think. When leaders think, the country will be great again. So what we need to quickly do is to see how we can begin to put square pegs in square holes, but we will not achieve that unless we have fixed the leadership from the top. Because it takes leadership from the top. Yes, to fix every other thing. How are you bringing a lawyer, for instance, to come into the health sector? How would that lawyer understand how incubators should actually function? He has not experienced the mechanics of an incubator. Definitely. So I want to jump in on the ASU issue. The ASU issue. Let me tell you, if you looked around the world, you would see that Nigeria and underdeveloped societies are still the ones funding directly from government purse our higher institutions. I understand why we are doing that, because we are not developed yet. We would be ostracizing, we'll be excommunicating those who are poor if we left it, you know, to the whims of those who have got money. However, this is how you can fix it. I have done a few courses abroad, and years after I did them, I still got calls that they needed my $1, they needed my £1 into a fund to run that school. Do you know how many people have been graduated out of the university, River State University, for instance? Do you know how many people have been graduated out of the University of Port Harcourt, for instance? If you asked all of those people to pay 1,000 naira every year subscription, do you know how much would have got into the fund? This 100 million that they are talking about is nothing. Both the federal government and ASU, they are refusing to think, because we are not looking for ingenious ways to fix our problems.
I would love to state that the River State University is on now. It's just the federal university.
It is on because the government is funding them and has given them directives. If you try it, I'm going to sack you. Did you forget what happened to the VC in the River State government recently? Let's not go there. That's why it's on. It's not because they are not going to benefit from the struggle that the ASU is pursuing. They're going to benefit. The point is, if we must fix our issues, we must fix it benchmarking it against our peculiarities, benchmarking it against what is available for us. If I called all the people who graduated from Unilag as soon as Unilag was formed, as soon as Unilag started operating, and I asked every one of them, Oxford, you still paid monies if you graduated. Harvard, you still paid monies if you graduated from them. Why can't we ask people to pay 1,000 naira? If you graduated from River State University and they asked to pay 1,000 naira a year, would that be too much? Would that be burdensome for you? If we got these monies together,
talking about private fundings and
yes, if we got these monies together from those who have graduated, those who passed through those institutions, and we put them in some kind of funds that will be managed by those who have got character, who have got capacity, who are transparent, people who do not just speak, who understand what development is. You get them to manage those funds. You will not need to go to federal government all the time to be begging them to give you 100 million. Do they have money? Don't forget, we have been borrowing to pay we have been borrowing to pay salaries. We hear now that we are going to soon start defaulting on the debts that have been given us. Therefore, we will now be borrowing to finance even the monies that have been borrowed. What catastrophe, what disaster we have found ourselves.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing so much insights.
Profoundly grateful. Anytime you call me, I'm always here.
Okay.
Profoundly grateful.
This has been the Adure Morning. This is the newspaper review segment. We've had an interesting time with Mr. Andy going through the stories on the Nigerian dailies. We should be doing this again
very soon.
Very soon.
It's a pioneer, it's a pilot edition, so please bear with us on the rough edges, and hopefully when we're back next week, we should be able to cover more dailies and shed more lights on more interesting topics.
My name is Ifoma Ogbute, and he is...
I am Benga Osula. Tighten your seatbelts. When life gets hard, tighten your seatbelts and keep cracking at this game called life. Any last remarks, Mr.?
Yes, Andy Akbotive, that's my name. It's going to get better when we come together concertedly to fix leadership.
Thank you
fixing
for
leadership.
your time and bye.